So we've had some excellent partners, and many of you, probably everybody here can name some app that you've been unhappy once you start to run it will suddenly drain all your battery. Those things happen. There's our stuff.
This PowerPoint on our jump drive?
No, this particular one is not. If you stop by, I can put it on the jump drive for you. If you do any social media today, and our company, like many big companies, love social media. So if you do any tweets, please hashtag DevLab, and I'll go off and find your tweets later, and I'll like them. But yeah, please, if you do social media, please hashtag it so we get all the goodness that came out of today. And that's about it for the introduction. I'm going to turn this over to Jan, who's going to walk you through the first part of the exercises, and we'll have some breaks in between, and that's it. So again, welcome.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, thank you all for coming. My name is Jan Korichan, and let me just get my laptop set up, and we can start. I'll first give you a little of a theoretical introduction to what M2X and Flow Designer are about, and in 30 to 45 minutes we'll get to more fun stuff where we actually start following the workbook and doing some practical things. That's the screen I didn't want to see. Let's try it again. That's the screen I wanted to see. Okay, this particular presentation is on a USB drive, so if you want to go through it in more detail later, you have that opportunity. I'll skim through it a little bit. It would take longer than go through all slides. I will just try to give you some basics and some of the concepts. So we'll be talking about two products in our IoT portfolio today. It will be M2X Data Service and AT&T Flow Designer. So I'll quickly jump to M2X Data Service. As you see, I'll be skipping through a lot of slides. So, M2X Data Service. What is M2X Data Service? M2X Data Service is cloud-based, multi-tenant, time series data storage service. What does it mean? It means it's running in a cloud. That means all the processing code and all the data are stored in a cloud. We have various geographic locations where the data are stored. They are load balanced to make sure that that API are always accessible for you and that your data are always safely stored where they need to be. You probably already sign up for M2X account. When you do that, the first page you will see is the M2X developer portal. That will be our central entry point today from where we'll be creating new device, defining streams, as you will see later today. The M2X itself has a very powerful API that allows you to do much more things than what we will see just today. The API documentation is available from the developer portal. You have all the details for the devices. We'll talk a little later about the concept of the devices. For the distributions, keys, charts, MQTT connectivity, it's all in the documentation. The API we're using is a RESTful API. That means you basically just send HTTP requests. If you try to do something, if you try to post data, you just form proper HTTP request. M2X will understand that request and do whatever you ask it to do. We have built, and I'm going to skip a little further, we have built various client libraries for M2X that will make the development easier for you. You can either use direct HTTP, as you will see in the first part of our exercise today, or you can use the client libraries. We have client libraries for various system-on-chip devices like Arduino, Raspberry Pi, Intel Galileo. Then we have the client libraries that also support the most commonly used development languages like C. We have a Node.js, JavaScript, and so on. If you go on an M2X portal at the very bottom, there'll be a link that will show you all the supported platforms, all the supported development languages. I'll skip a little backward. What I wanted to point out to you, if I can find the proper slide, is the notion of security in M2X. And we will be dealing with that later today. In order to access M2X, you will need specific API key. And we have a different kind of keys. Key, when you will see later, key is basically a hexadecimal string that is unique to your M2X account or unique to your device. But this is the security mechanism for M2X. You cannot send data to M2X if you don't authenticate yourself using the API key. As you will see later in the exercise, we'll have to make sure that we always put the proper API key in our code. We have some real-time analytics in M2X. You will see once we start sending data, the graphs that we will see on the screen will be updating in near real time. Whenever you post the data, you will see them on the graph. You can also create your own custom dashboards when you want to see not just one graph, but you would like to see multiple values on a single screen. There is a dashboard for that. You have an option, once you store the data in M2X, there are various ways of getting the data out. One very easy for you if you want to process your data, let's say in Microsoft Excel later, you can just do CSV export. You can export all the streams, all the data you have, you can export them to CSV and then process them later. Of course, you can also use API calls to get the data for one specific stream. I got a little bit ahead of myself talking about stream. Now it's just a generic concept for you. We'll see later what the stream means. Stream is basically just a stream of the values. And since we have a time series value storage, it means we always store the timestamp and a value. So each stream will have multiple timestamps and the values, as you will see later on when we start looking at the actual data. So this is for M2X. I will fast forward to the second one I will be talking about today, and that's AT&T Flow Designer. Flow Designer is allowing you to put some custom business logic to the data. The way the M2X works, it allows you to send the data and store data in a cloud. But sometimes you need to process data somehow. Just having the data is not enough. You need to do something with the data. You either need to transform them, you have some special device in a field that doesn't speak TCP or UDP or using the special protocol. We have the nodes in the Flow Designer that allow you to transform the data and do whatever you need to do with them.